The recipe you're about to see is savoury beef cannelloni. This is the exam dish for Intermediate 2 Hospitality Practical Cookery 2012. Firstly, set up your work area with ingredients and equipment. Set your oven to 180, stabilise chopping boards and collect vegetables. Remove the outer skin from the onion, taking care to keep the inner root intact. Thoroughly wash all vegetables under cold running water before peeling. Peel the carrot and re-wash all vegetables. Grate the carrot on the coarse side of the grater and weigh 75 grams as required by the recipe. Clean off knives and board before preparing your next vegetable. Prepare onion by finely dicing. You require 150 grams of onion. 50 grams will be used in your meat sauce and 100 grams will be used in the tomato sauce. It's important that you take care at this stage to weigh both parts but keep them separate so as not to confuse them later on in the exam. This is a common mistake made using the wrong ingredient where you have two similar ones. Remove the top and stalk from the pepper. Stand on the flat cut surface and then remove the outer surfaces from the pepper, leaving the white membrane inside, which will hold the core together. This is a tidy way to prepare a pepper and avoids the seeds spilling. Square off the ends of your cut sections. Flatten with the palm of your hand and using your paring knife, trim to give an even thickness. Cut these into 1/2 centimetre strips using your cook's knife. Turn and square edges against the knife and now cut into 1/2 centimetre cubes macedon. This will be weighed to give a 50 gram weight of red pepper. The process is then repeated to give 50 grams of green pepper. Clean off the board before starting to prepare the garlic. Having peeled the clove of garlic, slice into very thin strips, similar to julienne. Turn and cut very closely together into small, fine dice, about 1 millimetre in thickness. By wiping up to remove any vegetable waste. Remove chopping boards, knives, waste box, colander to your sink. Ready to wash when you have the opportunity later on. In your pan, heat 15 ml of sunflower oil for the onion. Take the time while this is heating to grease your oven-proof dish thoroughly to prevent the pasta sticking, and keep this on a baking tray to allow for easy handling going in and out of the oven. Add your 50 grams of onions to the now heated oil before covering to sweat for 5 minutes. On a red board, prepare the bacon. Firstly, roll the bacon tightly along the length of the rasher. This makes chopping easier. Bacon can be quite a tricky thing to prepare. Once it's rolled up, cut across with the cook's knife into thin slices. Once sliced, turn these and using the cook's knife cut into a very small dice. Set this aside for use later on. Remember good hygiene to wash your hands after handling the meat. To the pan, add the red and green peppers and cook for a further 2 minutes along with the grated carrot. After 2 minutes, reserve the cooked vegetables on a plate. These will be added back into the sauce shortly. Return the pan from that the vegetables were cooked in to the heat and get it good and hot, ready for the mince. Add the mince to this pan and using a wooden spoon break the mince up well into fine separate grains. It's worth taking a little time at this stage to brown the mince very thoroughly because this will improve the flavour later on. While looking after the mince, add 15 ml of oil to a second pot for the tomato sauce. The mince should now be well browned, and you may find that there is some liquid or fat at the bottom which should be drained at this stage out of the pan before adding the chopped bacon and cooking for a further 2 minutes. Add onion to the heated oil in your second pan and cover to sweat for 5 minutes. To your meat, add the tomato puree, and coat the mince thoroughly. Cooking for 1 minute with the tomato puree. Return the vegetables to the mince and mix thoroughly. And at this stage add 150 ml of beef stock, which should be hot when it is added. To your cooked onions, now add the passata and tinned tomatoes together with the herbs and the remaining beef stock, and a pinch of sugar. This will help to bring out the flavour of the tomatoes. Season both meat and tomato based sauce with salt and pepper. This can be adjusted later on before serving by tasting and adjusting to suit. Cover the pans and leave them to simmer. The meat sauce should simmer until it has reduced and most of the liquid absorbed. Finally grate some cheese, ready for finishing the dish once the tomato sauce is on, and set this aside. Once the moisture is absorbed into the vegetable and beef sauce, fill the cannelloni tubes. A funnel can make this job a little easier. Place the funnel in the end of the cannelloni and push through the funnel with either the handle of a teaspoon or the handle of a wooden spoon. This makes the filling quick and fairly tidy. The tomato sauce should be ready, having simmered for 15 minutes, and now pour over the cannelloni, making sure that all the pasta is fully covered. Sprinkle over the cheese and take care to give an even covering. This will affect the finished colour of the dish if you're careless and miss bits at this stage. Clean the sides and edges of your dish with a clean cloth to avoid this being burnt on and spoiling the appearance of the dish when it comes out of the oven for serving. Place into a hot oven. It was preheated at 180 degrees and it now needs to be cooked for 20 to 25 minutes. Check the cannelloni to ensure that it is cooked by pushing a knife into the pasta. It should feel tender. If it's a little firm, it can be returned to the oven for an additional 5 minutes. To finish the dish, chopped parsley sprinkled over can give a colourful appearance and is an acceptable garnish for a dish of this type. A final clean round the edges before garnishing is recommended, just to clean off any burnt splashes from the oven to make sure the dish has a clean and tidy appearance. Savoury beef cannelloni.